What's up everyone, it's IceManAuz, aka Jay, straight from the kangaroo and in your living room. Here today, I've got the P90 up against the MP7. Now the reason I wanted to compare these two guns is because they are very similar in most categories, and I found myself shuffling between both of these weapons, so I wanted to find out which is the better gun. First off, let's look at the stats of the P90. The P90 has a maximum damage of 20 to a drop off of 11.2 at long range. Keep in mind that both of these weapons have the exact same damage output. Even though the damage output is lower than assault rifles, it's still relatively decent. The vertical recoil is a 0.18, which is really good. The side-to-side recoil is also pretty good as well, with a 0.4 vertical recoil. Has 900 rounds per minute with 50 in the clip. So this gun is really good in most categories. But how can the MP7 compare to this gun if it has 50 rounds in the clip compared to the MP7's 20? Well, I can tell you that the MP7 actually does compare and maybe outdoes it. The two things that stand out for me about the MP7 is its 950 rounds per minute and its lower vertical recoil. This gun is an absolute laser. I said in my previous review of the MP7, if you haven't seen that review, take a look at that and you'll see what I mean. This gun is an absolute laser. Along with the P90, it's a laser as well, but you know what, I think the MP7, well, according to the stats anyway, it does have less vertical recoil. Now, the one thing that the P90 beats in terms of recoil patterns is the P90 has less side-to-side recoil, so be sure to keep that in mind. The attachments I like to use with the P90 is the reflex RDS, the laser sight, and the suppressor. All of these things work really well. That's just my personal preference. You may have a different one. You can roll with many different things. If you don't want a suppressor, you can have a flash suppressor. The one thing I will say though about attachments with the MP7 is that you pretty much have to have extended mags. It's pretty much a must, so you're pretty much losing a slot for the MP7, so that is a disadvantage and that is an advantage for the P90, so keep that in mind. You must have extended mags on the MP7. Use any sight you want. I like to go the iron sights because it's not like no other. It suits my playstyle perfectly, but yeah, that's just my personal preference. And then I like to use the laser sight as well, but keep that in mind. You will pretty much have to use extended mags unless you are super accurate, and even then, it's still hard to take out multiple enemies. With the P90, it does have 50 rounds in the clip, so be sure to keep that in mind also. So if I was to draw a conclusion, after looking at the stats, I was really surprised. The P90, overall, I think really wins the battle. But my personal preference seems to be the MP7. Now, both of these guns are absolutely awesome. That's my personal preference. Like I said, I really enjoy this gun, and don't think that one's superior to the other, because in all reality, it really depends on your personal preference. That's all it's about, really. I mean, the vertical recoil patterns are slightly different. The side-to-side recoils patterns are slightly different. But to be honest, both of these guns are absolutely fantastic. The one thing with both of these guns is that they do have a lower damage output than the assault rifles, so I would recommend, if you have good aim, to make sure that you get your shots on target, because if you don't, you're going to be in trouble. Both of these guns have a very fast rate of fire, so you can take down enemies, take down most guys with assault rifles rather quickly. So both of those things are awesome, and so yeah, so my winner for this battle is the MP7. So if you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and peace.